And the top story this evening, 6 people have died and 34 injured in Mumbai after a part of a footover bridge collapsed near the CST railway station last evening. The incident happened during peak traffic hours at around 7:30 p.m. near one of the city's busiest suburban railway stations. Now, Mumbai police has handed over the preliminary report on the mishap to the Chief Minister. The report blames Mumbai's municipal corporation, the BMC, for negligence and not conducting repairs on time. Meanwhile, Network 18 has accessed an audit report that was conducted 6 months ago. That audit report had certified the bridge to be in good condition and had suggested minor repairs. BMC Commissioner Ajoy Mehta has now sought the Vigilance Department to submit a preliminary report after an order from the Chief Minister. Yash Jain reports from the site of that bridge collapse, the third footover bridge, in fact, to crumble in just the last 18 months.
Well, the unfortunate incident happened sometime in the evening yesterday, around 7:30 p.m. in the evening, where a part of the footover bridge in the CST area of Mumbai collapsed. In fact, right now we are at that very spot, close to the footover bridge. And if I could just show you that very bridge, a part of this very footover bridge collapsed down, taking down the people who were using this particular bridge to get on the other side of the road at that point of time. Also having its impact on the motorists who were getting to the other side of the bridge and were under that very bridge at that point of time. Of course, immediately after the incident took place, NDRF, Mumbai Police, as well as the Mumbai Fire Brigade team were rushed to the spot, who got involved in all the rescue operations which went through the evening, through the night. As far as the situation today is concerned, the NDRF team was pulled out as the rescue operation came to an end. And as far as the latest reports are concerned, about 6 people have been declared dead and about 30 are seriously injured, who are being treated in various hospitals in this area, in the vicinity. Also, something which I have been picking up as far as the officials here are concerned is that at the time of the incident, the traffic signal, which is just adjacent to this very footover bridge, was on, because of which a lot of vehicular movement was halted because they were waiting for the traffic signal to move so that they can move forward, and that in some way reduced the extent of the tragedy. So of course that was something which a lot of officials have been talking about. But overall, as far as the action is concerned, Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis also visited the spot today morning. He was briefed about the entire incident. The government again has very categorically said that a structural audit of this footover bridge was done just about 6 months ago, and when an incident of such sort happens within a period of 6 months, of course it's bound to raise a lot of questions when it comes to the quality of that audit and so on and so forth. But as far as the action is concerned, an FIR has been registered against railway officials as well as BMC officials. The whole political blame game has begun, but of course the harsh reality remains, exposing the sorry state of the infrastructure of the city one more time.
स्ट्रक्चरल ऑडिट करने के बावजूद अगर इस प्रकार से ब्रिज कोलैप्स होता है तो ये सारी चीज़ों पर एक सवालिया निशान खड़ा होता है, और इसलिए इसकी एक उच्च स्तरीय जांच तो होगी, लेकिन साथ ही मैंने म्यूनिसिपल कमिश्नर को ये भी कहा है कि इसकी प्राथमिक जांच करके शाम तक इसकी प्राइमरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी जो है वो उसको फिक्स करे, क्योंकि इस प्रकार की घटनाओं में किसी को बख्शने का कोई कारण नहीं है। और निश्चित रूप से अगर ऑडिट हुआ है और उसके बावजूद ये पुलिया गिर रहा है तो इस ऑडिट के ऊपर भी एक सवालिया निशान खड़ा होता है।
I cannot come directly. The accident is an accident and it is to be seriously seen. I do not know the details, what was happened about the bridges, but I know one decision by the government as well as municipal corporation that all the bridges in Mumbai will go under the audit. Now the audit has been conducted. Some of the bridges have been closed by the BMC. Even the ROV at Lowerpur has been closed, you know it. Same way, what was the recommendation about this bridge? Who was the consultant? What he has said about that bridge?
इतना बड़ा सेटअप है रेलवे के पास ये सारा काम करने के लिए, ऐसे में आप सेना के जवानों को बुला करके एक बड़ा चौंकाने वाले अंदाज में एलिफिंस्टन का एक ब्रिज बना देते, बोलते देखो जी हमने ब्रिज बना दिया। ये सब दिखावा, तमाशा, ड्रामा, शोबाजी बंद करिए। सिंसियरली, गंभीरतापूर्वक जो मुंबई के लोगों की तकलीफ है उसको दूर करने में लगिए, वो नहीं कर पा रहे हैं।
Blaming the officers, keep on blaming the BMC, railway, political people, all that thing. The fact remains that even after a major disaster in the Elphinstone Road bridge collapse. There were flurry of activities, inquiries were held, reports were produced, and ultimately they said all the bridges have been checked. What happened? I think somebody has to be held responsible. In the government, whether it's central government or state government, there is a clear hierarchy as to who is responsible for what activity. I mean, it is not a junior engineer or some mechanical or that. It is way up there.
Okay.
There has to be somebody at the top.
And staying with that story, Radhika Ramaswamy joins us now. Radhika, what's the latest?
A day after the horrific bridge collapse that killed 6 people and injured more than 32 of them, now there is an audit report that has been accessed by us. Now this is an audit that was conducted by a private consultant, D.D. Desai, more than 6 months back. And the audit report has said that the bridge was in good condition, which is shocking because several of the passengers, several of the passers-by and people working and living here have been telling us that the bridge was indeed corroded for the longest time. However, the BMC did not take any action. No repair or reconstruction work was done on the bridge. And of course, the audit report reveals that the bridge was fit. So now the question remains that how is it that the audit report said that the bridge was fit? Now, who conducted this audit? Who are these people? Were they qualified enough? Were all the processes followed? Were scientific methods followed to do this audit? Or was it a shoddy job done? Because looks like from what we could assess about the situation of the bridge and about how shaky it was, it seems to be that the audit was in fact flawed. Now, as far as the BMC stand go, under whom this bridge comes, who had hired those auditors, as far as the BMC goes, they've been taking a few measures which they do after every single tragedy. This time, of course, they are going to come up with an inquiry report within a month. Today, of course, there will be a preliminary inquiry report that will be out. A vigilance director, vigilance officer have been assigned the job of conducting an inquiry as to what the issues with the bridge were. Why was it not taken care of? What about the assessments and the inspections that were done? Were procedures followed while doing the audits? So all that will be dealt with, and then an inquiry report will be formed, will be out within the next 1 month. So as of now, of course, BMC officials not really taking accountability openly, but of course taking a few measures. But the fact remains that many tragedies of this kind has happened, not just this one. There was the stampede that happened in Elphinstone, and of course the Andheri bridge collapse. But nothing has happened, although several audits were conducted after that and some repair works and reconstruction works. More such calamities, more such tragedies are happening in the city, which means that something really concrete has to be taken up by the BMC officials here, and they have to give answers to all these tough questions about the callousness that is being shown by the officials.
Right, Radhika. Many thanks for joining us with all the details. So there you have it. That's the findings of the audit in that foot-over bridge. But yet the bridge crumbling and 6 people losing their lives in the process. At least 49 people have been confirmed dead and dozens injured after a terror attack on 2 mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand. One of the attacker has been identified as a right-wing extremist born in Australia who live-streamed that entire incident on social media as well. The Bangladesh cricket team, which is touring New Zealand, had a narrow escape. CNBC's Matthew Taylor reports on the worst mass shooting in New Zealand's history.
Well, a shocking attack in New Zealand, one that the Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has called the nation's darkest day. Multiple casualties when it comes to this shooting that took place in 2 mosques in Christchurch. The attack happening around afternoon prayer time, just before midday local time. Now, we know that there have been 3 people arrested and a male in his late 20s has been charged with murder. Authorities around the Christchurch area say much of that city does remain in lockdown, and they're urging people to avoid attending mosques today. They've also said that they found some improvised explosive devices attached to at least one of the assailants' cars, but that has now been disarmed. The New Zealand Prime Minister are saying that the nation's security threat level has now been raised to high from low. It's believed one of the people responsible for this crime is an Australian citizen, and we understand that that is the 28-year-old man who has been arrested. Some changes when it comes to air travel around Christchurch as well. Authorities there suspending regional turboprop services because a number of passengers can board those aircraft at smaller airports without security screening, so authorities taking the decision to ground those aircraft as a safety precaution. But that's the latest on what has transpired in New Zealand. Multiple casualties and fatalities, and also scores of people remaining injured as well. That's the latest. Back to you.
Right, so 49 people dead in that New Zealand mass shooting attack. On this reporter's diary, now there's yet another twist in the long-drawn SR Steel resolution saga. The National Company Law Appellate Tribunal has warned the Committee of Creditors not to discriminate against SR Steel's operational creditors. The Appellate Tribunal has also proposed that 10% of the 42,000 crore rupee bid made by ArcelorMittal be reserved for operational creditors as well. Ashmit Kumar is here with more details. Ashmit, seems like a tug-of-war between lenders and the NCLAT batting for the operational creditors.
Indeed, the NCLAT, from what it appears, has given a formula of sorts as far as division of the 42,000 crore Arcelor bid is concerned. We'll come to that in just a bit. But first, the other big takeaway, of course, has been that SR promoters were the ones who had moved the NCLAT. And as far as their application is concerned, they were in for a huge degree of disappointment, kind of a setback coming in for them. The NCLAT observing that as far as the SR promoters offer is concerned, it is bad, if not rotten. Extremely sharp words that fell from the NCLAT. And from that point on, the NCLAT dedicated its entire attention as far as the operational creditors are concerned. Towards that extent, it appeared to the NCLAT that it wasn't a case of operational creditors, but rather a case of oppressed creditors. That was the observation that fell. The NCLAT said, and this was, of course, in criticism of the COC, that they appear to have pocketed 92% of the bid, leaving just 4% of the bid for the operational creditors. In fact, the NCLAT also observed that the principle of maximization needs to be followed for all sets of lenders, even the operational creditors, and that the COC must look towards amending as far as this division of funds is concerned, because if they don't, then the NCLAT will exercise its powers, and in pursuance of that, they have suggested a 10% formula. Now, what is this formula? The NCLAT has said that as far as the 42,000 crore bid is concerned, 10% of that should be reserved for operational creditors. This, of course, is a suggestion coming in. It was met with fierce opposition from the lenders. The COC said that this entire IBC regime is designed to ensure that secured lenders get their due, and that if that is not the case, then they could very well leave the company into liquidation. Arcelor, on its case, as far as its position is concerned, has clarified that they have submitted a bid of 42,000 crore rupees, but they're completely agnostic as to how that fund is in fact divided between various sets of creditors. With that, what we understand is that the hearing has now been deferred to Monday. Monday is when we can expect more clarity on whether the lenders will come on board with this 10% formula. That is something that we'll have to wait and watch for, and perhaps give more clarity on the way forward as far as this Arcelor bid is concerned for SR Steel. Back to you.
Right, Ashwin. Many thanks for getting us all those details from there. Let's also get you a CNBC-TV18 exclusive from the deal space, where the L&T board is believed to have approved the Mindtree acquisition plan. Sources saying that the company may buy 24.4% stake in Mindtree for 981 rupees per share. It is expected to sign a term sheet with VG Siddharth by the 18th of March for the entire 20.4% stake. Mugdha Warrior has been tracking that story, and she's here with all the details. Mugdha, what are you picking up?
Yes, you're right. The L&T board has approved the acquisition of the Mindtree stake, and L&T is likely to pick up 24.4% stake in Mindtree at rupees 981 per share. Now, we understand the term sheet with VG Siddhartha will be signed as early as Monday, and our sources were telling us that this deal was set to be closed today, but some technicalities have pushed it to early next week. And VG Siddhartha will be selling his entire 20.4% stake that he holds along with his CCD entities. But, there are some other minority shareholders which will also be selling to to L&T, which include Mansa Capital, a shareholder named Rekha Shah, and of course L&T MF, which holds about 1.08%. So these shareholders will also be selling either entire or part of their stake to L&T, and the total stake will come up to about 24.4% is what we understand. And our sources are also telling us that L&T is looking to hike its stake in Mindtree to 51% through a voluntary open offer. So that's what we have today, and this is an exclusive. So finally, after months of speculation, this deal is set to be signed by Monday.
Right, Mugdha. Thank you for joining us with all those details from there. With us on Reporter's Diary. Now, the Tyre industry is under the GST scanner. Sources tell us that the GST intelligence wing is conducting pan-India raids at facilities of tyre manufacturers as well as dealers. And this, as the intelligence wing suspects, tax evasion on account of differential rates. Timsy Jaipuria joins us with all the details from there. Timsy, what's the trigger behind these raids, and what are the big tyre manufacturers that have come under the scanner?
Well, that's right. What we understand from sources is the fact that GST intelligence wing has conducted pan-India raids on tyre industry. To be precise, the raids were conducted at the facilities of both manufacturers and dealers. And GST intelligence wing is suspecting that tax evasion has been made. However, this is on account of few aspects. That is differential rates which are applicable right now on tyres, tubes and flaps. Also, non-payment of taxes is also one issue, plus excess claim of input credit, and there is also an impact of the mismatch of returns and invoices. On account of these four parameters is what these raids were conducted pan-India. Some of the major companies where the raids have been conducted also includes JK Tyres, Apollo Tyres, MRF and CEAT. However, when CNBC reached out to them for a query, they did not respond to our queries. But let me remind our viewers that GST today, as on date, is 28% on tyres, and it was reduced from 28% to 18% on tubes and flaps. Also, government officials, while confirming this news, said that GST intelligence wing is currently investigating the matter. Some companies have already made part payment of the dues, but total demand is likely to be identified in a month or so. So that means the entire case is under detailed investigation. They don't want to rush in with a particular amount of demand, but yes, there is a case which needs to be followed. Back to you.
Right, Timsy. Thanks for getting us all the details from there. And on to other news, France has decided to freeze the assets of Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar. In a statement issued by the French government, they've said that they will push the European Union as well to ban the Jaish chief. This comes a day after China blocked the United Nations bid to blacklist Masood Azhar yet again. And Rahul Gandhi, who's on a campaign trail, has promised that his party would budget 3% of India's GDP towards healthcare if voted to power. He's also promised to enact a Right to Healthcare Act that would guarantee every citizen right to healthcare services, including free diagnostics as well as medicines. And staying with elections, DMK will contest 20 of the 39 constituencies in Tamil Nadu. Congress will contest 9 of the remaining 19 seats. The remaining 10 seats have been distributed among the CPI, the CPIM, VCK, MDMK, as well as others. The Congress will also contest in the lone Lok Sabha seat from Puducherry. And the Supreme Court has also asked the Election Commission to respond to opposition parties' plea seeking random verification of 50% EVMs using voter-verifiable paper audit trail in each constituency before the poll results are declared. Now, that matter has been listed for the 25th of this month. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Reporter's Diary. Many thanks for watching, but do stay tuned to CNBC-TV18. Up next, a special pre-election series, It's the Economy, where we take a look at how macros have fared during the BJP tenure since 2014.